Welcome to AllGen's Money Minute. So, of course, the question that's coming up these days is, what should I expect with the new stimulus, COVID-19 package that was passed by Congress? So you've probably heard that the new stimulus package was passed and you're going to be getting a check, most likely. Okay, and we say most likely because as with the previous two, there are parameters, there are conditions by which you may or may not qualify. Similarly, if you're single, $75,000 income or less, it starts phasing out at $75,000, completely getting zero at 80. If you're head of household, $112,500 is the number, phasing out at $120. And if you're married, $150,000 starts phasing out at completely zero at $160. So those numbers are the same. Mm-hmm. What is different is the checks are now supposed to be $1,400 per person. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've gone back up again. And a big change is that before you would get the child credit if you had dependents, okay, was about $600 before. It's actually everyone's getting $1,400 if they qualify. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's a big change this time around. So for example, a family of four, if a husband, wife, and two kids could get up to $5,600, $5,800, something like that. Okay, $1,400 per person, $5,600. So that's a big change. Okay, they also changed the dependency rule where before if you had a teenager dependent that was 16 or 17 years old, they would not qualify. You may not get it. Now, if you claim as a dependent, you'll get added increased bump amount as a parent. Okay, right. So these are good things as far as receiving the check itself. One thing that timeliness is interesting because they're doing this so quickly. They're trying to get money into the hands of people, but in your situation, a lot of people were affected by COVID last year. So it's going off the latest tax return that the IRS has for you. Okay, so a strategy might be, well, if I made less money in 2020 than I did in 2019, you want to hurry up and get your taxes in for 2020 to see if you qualify for this. Right. Now, understand, it may be too late for you because checks are already going out. So if they already processed yours, we understand you missed it. But that's something to consider. If what year you made less money, you want them to obviously go on that amount if you possibly could qualify based on that. Right? So Jason, these are the typical parameters, some considerations. Of course, we always got to throw in the financial planning bent. So what's something to think about if I get now $1,400, $2,800, this chunk of change? What should I be thinking about as far as my personal financial journey?
Yep. No, I would say this, part of this whole stimulus package is meant to stimulate the economy. So they're encouraging people to actually go and spend the money, right? And there's nothing wrong with that from the standpoint of trying to stimulate the economy. However, if you're in a position where you're deeply in debt or you don't have any emergency reserves or you're still looking for work, don't go spend the money. Use that money to get you through a difficult time right now. So if you're out of work, use that, just hoard that money, keep it in a savings account, and allow that to be an emergency reserve that keeps you from going further into debt until you find a job. But we always encourage people, anytime you get either like a tax return or in this case a stimulus, wherever you're at in the path to financial freedom, you could just accelerate that piece. So if you're trying to pay off consumer debt, use that money to pay off that consumer debt a lot quicker. Make a huge chunk. If you're doing well financially, then you can go and spend the money and help stimulate the economy. But for those who are in debt or need more emergency reserves, build a stronger foundation so that in the future you can continue to build and reach financial freedom.
That's right. So thanks for listening. We hope this helps, and we hope to see you soon.